Here is the total crypto market cap chart zoomed out on the monthly. An interesting hint that I want to go over in this video, especially as it relates to the momentum of the crypto markets. Bitcoin zoomed out on the weekly, just an epic setup. Shortly after the Bitcoin halving, which was not that long ago, and an epic setup as we all sit here waiting on the short term, the daily chart. What's the next move for Bitcoin? I really want to break down just the status. Where are we right now with everything going on? We're going to talk about some really, really cool crypto news before we dive into these charts. So hit the subscribe, hit the like, and let's just jump into it. I want to start here. This is just massive news from today. It's over. The SEC versus Ripple case has been quite a journey. Thanks for sharing it with me. This is Jeremy Hogan over here. $125 million penalty and a generic injunction order. Here's Brad Garlinghouse. You all know him. He's the CEO at Ripple. The SEC asked for $2 billion. And by the way, I just want to say this. Whether you hold XRP or don't, this is massive. It's obviously massive for XRP holders, but it's massive for crypto holders in general in the crypto space. It's another win. This is another win. And the court reduced their demand by 94%, recognizing that they had overplayed their hand. We respect the court's decision and have clarity to continue growing our company. This is a victory for Ripple, the industry, and the rule of law. Exactly. A very big victory for the industry. The SEC's headwinds against the whole of the XRP community are gone. I've been saying, and I'll keep saying, the law is not on the SEC's side. And here is yet another example of this SEC versus Ripple case playing out finally after years and years and years and years. It is over. So that's that. Big news. I want to go over this. I know this looks like, I want to say something if you're on this video right now. This looks like it's a bunch of text. There's so much. What is all this? This post that I'm about to go through, and you can go to timestamps if you just want to go right to the charts, but I want to show you this post is such good context of why I'm so macro bullish on crypto right now. And it's hard to be bearish. This is a really good, and I'll go through it quickly, but let's just go through these points. Bitcoin just experienced its first 33% correction of the bull run, right? Two prior 20% plus corrections. So Solana corrected 45%, ETH 38%. So I think that's actually a great reminder. Just if you zoom out and look at previous bull markets in general, here's the last one, on the weekly. There are just big dips in general in bull markets. 2 cycles ago, look at these massive dips. Whether it's the beginning, middle, end of a bull market, there are these massive dips that happen. Here's Bitcoin, post 2024 halving. It's dipping. And it actually hasn't even been that bad. So that's a first point I wanted to go over. Funding rates have fully reset. Supply overhangs for sellers have largely liquidated. We're talking about the German government, Jump, Mt. Gox, FTX creditors, Grayscale, BTC, and ETH trusts, right? Bitcoin MVRV down to 1.47. And just to give you a kind of a glimpse of that data, of that, what that chart looks like, this is from a couple of days ago. Over here on X, the Bitcoin MVRV ratio hasn't been this low since November 2022, right after the FTX collapse. That period marked a bottom and an excellent buying opportunity. Look at this. Look at this. And here's the FTX collapse all the way back here. So this chart even getting reset. Sentiment flipped to fearful, alts hated. It's not fun to see alts hated, especially if it's your altcoin, but most altcoins are just like, man, this is it for altcoins. That's a good thing when fear gets that high. Fed expected to cut in September and into next year as unemployment creeps up. Now 4.3%, inflation drops. Bank of Japan just took their finger off the trigger. No more rate hikes. Crypto becoming an election issue. Trump announced support for a strategic Bitcoin reserve. I think even yesterday, Trump's son, or both of them, talking about crypto. DeFi is the big thing, how they're very focused on it. Crypto is taking over the political landscape right now. We're getting these wins because the law is on crypto's side. Major wealth managers now selling BTC and ETH to their clients via new ETF products. CeFi firms that contributed to over-leverage last cycle, such as BlockFi, Genesis, Celsius, have been removed from the market. FTX is gone, right? These companies that were just really bad for crypto, gone. But seriously, you're going to tell me all that and you want me to be bearish? I just want to say, all of that right there sums it up so well. And this is leaving out a lot of things that we talk about on this YouTube channel when it comes to especially the technical analysis side, right? I do a lot of technical analysis. But let's look at some of the charts. That's a lot of the crypto news going on right now. XRP, the Ripple case, that's a huge deal today. Congrats to XRP holders. Here's a total crypto market cap chart, and then we'll go to Bitcoin. Total crypto market cap, I mentioned this hint on this chart. I wanted to show you something. If you look, and time again, I'm using the halvings to really help define where we are in the cycle. The halving just happened, right? But what I was looking at was a monthly chart, and I was looking at the momentum oscillator, and you can just see, and I think we saw a similar type of move on Bitcoin charts, but being overbought prior to the halving is something we've talked about, and it really kind of just touched overbought, just kind of got into that vicinity prior to the Bitcoin halving. Previous bull cycles, I mean, this is what the total crypto market cap looks like. Look at this. After Bitcoin halving, months after Bitcoin halving, gets very overbought. We're talking altcoin seasons in there. Altcoins are going crazy. This has not happened this cycle, right? But I went back and I was like, you know what? This is very reminiscent of back here in 2016 halving. And there's a lot of similarities on this RSI, the slower moving momentum oscillator. Very similar move, kind of exiting the bear market and just touching overbought on the monthly and then needing to cool back down before going higher. It looks a little different, right? It's a little bit more maybe of a drastic move to the downside, but all in all, slightly overbought and then into the halving correction. And really, this is what we've seen. And we just looked at this on that X post that we just saw. Bitcoin just experienced its first 33% correction of the bull run. I mean, this is normal. These corrections are normal. And if we open up the monthly chart, here's where we are. We had an insane exit of the bear market, things happening kind of earlier. I mean, we're talking about the total crypto market cap testing all-time highs before Bitcoin halving. Just to give you a sense of that, that did not happen last cycle until months after the Bitcoin halving, testing these all-time highs. So it really got heated fast and it's cooling down. We have the 20-month moving average in green crossing above the 50-month moving average just before Bitcoin halving. And now we're having a nice retrace to the moving averages on the monthly. That looks very normal to me from any charting perspective. We can be doing a short-term video, a short-term daily chart. We're always looking for revisits of moving averages. Here it is on the monthly playing out. And there are a lot of similarities to kind of the consolidation going into 2016 halving. I thought that was interesting. So, and even consolidation post-2020 halving. You can just see there was consolidation, not as drastic, right? But there's a red candle there. Here's a red candle, and just sideways for some time before actually getting that takeoff. What could be powerfully said is, Bitcoin, if we look at the RSI, is actually even a little bit cooled down more this cycle. Not Bitcoin, but total crypto market cap. So there's even more room for upside if the bulls decide to step in and make a move to the upside. So Bitcoin on the weekly chart, here's the setup we've been tracking. And it's really similar thing on the Bitcoin chart. It's kind of like watching these moving averages, watching how do we close this current weekly candle, 4 days, 3 hours left of the current weekly candle. Can Bitcoin see support at the 50-week? Can Bitcoin see support at this lower high Fibonacci that Bitcoin has broken through? That's the bull market doors. And that's what we'll continue watching on the weekly chart. Wanted to go over to the daily though and just kind of get a snapshot of where we are because this is what we've been tracking on the short term. It's this pattern that has been in formation for quite some time, back here in March. What we talked about in yesterday's video was kind of like, all right, we get the wick off the bottom, the lower trend line, and it wouldn't be unusual for Bitcoin to just kind of be sideways now. And this is what we're seeing right now, just choppy. This is what happened back here in the last swing low. You can see Bitcoin kind of choppy, indecisive, testing everybody's patience. And I would even say coming down even more to test the lower trend line again could be something that could be in play. Watching the RSI while this happens, a bullish kind of indicator, I would say, is the stock RSI. It is oversold, and it's starting to trend up to the upside. Now, I think I mentioned this in a video maybe a couple days ago or so, but Bitcoin had a similar thing happen, right? Started trending to the upside, and then made a move to the upside to overbought, but failed to break the moving averages, right? There's the moving averages, and actually just one more dip before finally making the move to upside. That's something I'd be careful of. And I'd like to kind of do continuous updates on the daily chart. This is quicker price action that we're tracking right now. And that this is in play, right? You might see the stock RSI, because it's a quicker moving momentum oscillator, start just trending up while Bitcoin is trending to the moving averages, gets rejected, and then actually goes lower while we're getting potentially a higher low on the stock RSI. And then our big move comes over here, end of August or something like that. So we'll watch. But again, as always, it all has to do with Bitcoin and these moving averages. What happens when it gets tested? Can Bitcoin close daily candles above? Really all three. The 20-day at 64,000, the 50-day around 62,000, and the 200-day also around 62,000, 61, just under 62. So that's what I'm watching on Bitcoin. But crypto markets just doing their thing right now. Nothing crazy out of the ordinary happening in my opinion, but a lot of macro bullish things. And that is why most of my videos and most of my outlook is really based on the macro and allowing patience, allowing time for these markets to consolidate, to do their thing before next leg up. So these are my thoughts. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I really appreciate all of you watching. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.